Welcome in, folks. This is the Fantasy Alarm tutorial series, and this is MLB Tools. I'm going to run you through our MLB tools, the ones that don't have specific videos for them, just so that as a refresher to how much deep information we have for Major League Baseball, you can get an understanding of, especially for daily fantasy sports players. Or if you dabble in daily fantasy sports, for me, for instance, I play on Tuesdays and Fridays so that I can see every pitcher in the majors every 3 weeks and help my seasonal play and win a couple $1,000s a summer. But for the most part, I'm playing in order to make my seasonal games better. So if you're interested in that, that's a good way to use our tools as well. This is our lineups page. It's free. And as you can see, it has tons of information in it. You click on projections. It loads projections in for both sides. You can click those projections and get Fanball or whatever site that you're going to be playing on tonight. For Yahoo, for DraftKings, whichever site you're playing on tonight, will automatically load the points over here. Weather pops out to a weather center, which I'll show you in a minute. Advanced gives you some advanced metrics. The WOBAs and ISOs of the world will be coming in shortly. We're reading them in right now from yesterday's action, since this is the second day of the season. Home and away splits, lefty-righty splits, DFS values. That shows you the values against the salary values for each player in whatever site you want to look at. And we do this for every single game. Chart the last five. This is last year's stats. You can see yesterday's box score. When the game starts at 7:07 tonight for this particular one here, you will then be able to see this. Yesterday will become real time. The word real time. That will be a real time box score for that game, for this game. I very commonly come here to get all of my stats. That's the daily lineups page. Daily projections. This is our list of projections and values for all players in the majors. You can list it by slate. You can turn different teams on and off. You can get it by position, hitters or pitchers, AL, NL, or both. So very easy way for you to figure out what the projected values are for today. And if you want season long, of course, you can select season long as well and see our season long projections for players in a nice snapshot with the same easy to use navigation. Our weather center. This is where you would get no weather concerns, rainouts, what's the wind like, which way is it blowing. We'll actually show you which direction it's blowing. The wind blowing in at 13 miles an hour in Miami, so could hurt the effect of home runs. Wind blowing out to right field in Oakland. So just a way that you can see exactly what's going on in every game. We have the hourly forecast as we lead up to the game. The starting pitchers over here and some interesting links for you to get around with as well. Live stats, once the games start, this is the way that I look at everything. I love to sort by stolen bases and to sort by home runs, see what's going on in the world with who's stealing the bases and who's hitting home runs today. And that stuff is very easy to say, obviously, these yesterday's games. And then you can also see how those players are doing against their current salaries for today. So all of that in, and you can also see yesterday's, and then tonight when the games start, you will see them in real time. Batter versus pitcher. This information gives us a dashboard, and it's integrated into our dashboard to show you information from our analysts about the players today that are interesting, and then to give you batter versus pitcher information for everyone who is playing tonight. So you can do things like sort on home runs. Let's see, Kiki Hernandez has 3 home runs against Robbie Ray, lifetime. So that's an interesting matchup. You can find some interesting information by playing with this. Obviously, all of our tools go to Excel or can be copied to Word documents or sent to the printer. Again, the same navigation as before. Positions. Your game links will only show the players from those teams. And then you can select the slate if you prefer to only look at particular slates. You can select your scoring system here. I'm going to play on Yahoo tonight, so I want to make sure I click on that. Okay, lineup generator we're going to talk about in a separate video, so if you want to get that, you can get that in our tutorial series there. The example lineups is a content feature, but it does have integrated tools functions in it, like ownership information is plugged in there, salaries, matchup information, all put into the optimal lineups. So that's where you can find your example lineups. The hitting coach and pitching coach are this same piece used in its default mode is the hitting coach. It shows you last year's statistics. Once a week is in, we will be showing you 2019 statistics in this slot, and that gives you more information. You can see the pitchers and the performance, the weather, when it's going to start, matchup information for each team. So, and then advanced, this is where you see your advanced metrics. So for hitters, you're going to see things like WAR. For pitchers, you're going to see things like swing strike percentage. See, we have OPS versus lefties versus righties, ISO, WOBA versus left, WOBA versus right. These are the advanced metrics that we think are important, and we put them on one page for you. And for pitchers, you can see that information, important information, all sortable, with this year's stats. This is currently last year's stats. But you can see, if I just want to see what the XFIPs are, the lowest XFIP tonight is Garrett Cole. The highest fly ball percentage is Marco Estrada, so maybe I want to attack against him. And the lowest, of course, is Herman Marquez. So just very, very interesting, excellent information, all in this dashboard. That's your hitting and pitching coach. Ownership we will also handle separately. And then we target every umpire. This is all the umpire information. As the games get assigned, the umpires get assigned, it will come up and you can see the home plate assignments and then see who gives up the most Ks, who gives up the least walks, etc. per 9 innings, so that you can determine whether or not you have an edge there. Vegas Odds shows you all the odds and information there. Ballpark Rating shows you every piece of information for the home runs that are hit at each ballpark, the runs that are scored at each ballpark, what the slugging percentage at each ballpark is, so you can get an understanding of that. So, and then, of course, we have teams and depth charts. Depth charts a little bit different than most other places. You just click on the circle here, and it loads the information in very quickly for you. And then, of course, we have your last lineups here, so you can circle back through the last 10 lineups and see exactly how the teams are performing. So, a very, very good function there. The rest of the things are preseason stuff, but that has been a run around the block for your tools from fantasyalarm.com. I'm Rick Wolf. You can reach me at rick@fantasyalarm.com. This has been the tutorial series MLB Tools.